Hi, this is Don Clark with FileMakerProGurus.com and FM Database Consulting, and I'm with Susan Finema. Susan, how are you today?
Hey Don, Happy New Year. It's good to
Happy
talk
New
to you
Year to you
again.
too. Today we're going to be doing the first of three videos on project management to kick off the new year, and this one is going to be communicating with your project manager. So let's go over some of those points. Can you give me a broad outline, please, Susan?
Sure. So, when you are working with a project manager as a developer, there are a lot of things as a developer that you need to communicate to the
Mhm.
project manager so that they can help you. Really, their job is to help you. So help them help you, right?
Right.
So that information helps that happen. Things that would be helpful for them to know would be, when are you going to be working on the project? Is it, Saturday afternoon, or is it during regular work hours? Just something that gives them an idea of when questions might arise.
Okay.
Um, they could also let you know when you have questions for the client. So don't just stop because you've run into a wall. You need to let the project manager know, hey, I need to talk to the client. I need this information in order to keep going.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, if you wait until they ask you about it and then they find out that you've been, oh, well, I can't do this because I don't know about this. Well, so we've lost a week because you didn't ask.
Yeah, that's a real big issue.
You
Yeah.
know, so don't wait for the project manager to ask you. They don't know what they don't know.
Right.
If you know, let them know that
Yeah,
you
you
need to
tell them,
know.
I'm waiting for an answer back from, the support company,
Right.
for this particular plugin or for this particular issue or with this integration part. And if I don't get, until I get that back, or the converse of that actually is I'm waiting for the answer back from the client.
Right. It can be the client, it could be a
Mhm.
vendor, it could be anything, but
Right.
especially if the project manager knows about it, they are able to facilitate getting that answer from the client.
Right.
So while a developer might ask the client the question, the project manager might say, if I don't have this answer by Friday, your project's delayed.
Right.
So they're able to set a consequence for the delay.
Yeah, exactly. And make it stick.
Yes, exactly.
It's in communication. It's in writing somewhere,
you know,
not just
a,
a phone call.
exactly. It's important. Something else is, when, as a developer, are you not available to work
Right.
because you have other projects or other clients, or heaven forbid you go on vacation, right? Um,
No, heavens no.
and make sure that it's, again, not after the fact.
Right.
Um, because if something is delayed because you're not accessible, that
Mhm.
is a problem too. And it makes you kind of look flaky, right? As
And
a
that's
developer,
something
if you
that
just
I
go
think
radio silence,
most developers have that reputation for that reason, I suspect. The
it's
ones that do
true.
have that reputation, I should say.
It's true. And if it's a client, as a subcontractor, if you're working with a contractor, but maybe not actively, say a
Mhm.
project's been on hold or anything like that, a simple solution: create an out of office email response that says, I'm on
Okay.
vacation and when you'll be back.
Okay.
Then they know, and they're not like, where are you?
And I guess there's also the communication of, well, I promised to work on it today, but three other fires came up, or my computer broke, or
And
something. Something.
yeah,
So,
when something unexpected comes up, that absolutely can be accommodated.
mhm.
Um, Anything you can say in advance proactively is of benefit. If
Right.
it's after the fact, it becomes more of a challenge to handle with the client. But clients are usually very reasonable if you tell them in advance. If you wait until the day it's due and say, oh, well, we had a server outage and somebody went on vacation, and that, they're way less patient with that.
Yes. Yeah, after the fact.
The other thing that's really important, that a project manager get from a developer, is to document any changes that they ask for. Any sort of client communication that you might have that doesn't include the project manager.
Yeah,
Uh,
because somebody might go around whatever system you're using to communicate with, like Basecamp or Slack or what have you. So,
right. And it is, any project manager worth their salt is going to tell you not to communicate outside of that unless they're present. Or if you're going to do a phone call, try to do a
I was just
Zoom.
going to answer that question because
Yeah.
I've had another client complain when I was working with somebody using Basecamp, they wouldn't take a phone call.
The client wouldn't?
No, the big people, the developers using Basecamp. No, they were developing a website, but
Okay.
they wouldn't use it. You couldn't, even the client couldn't call them. Not for
And
something that was related, and I guess it was, unless it was something outside of, but if it was something to do with, what we're going to do in the project, they wanted it in writing. They demanded it in writing. I thought that was pretty stark,
yeah,
tough for a client.
I'm not for being that rigid. But I am for documenting the conversation. So you could have a call,
Exactly.
you could do it via Zoom instead of the phone, or go to meeting, or any of those other options, and record it. And then you just
that as a file, right?
Right. You just upload that video into your project management software, and the history is there. And you can always look back at it.
Yeah.
But having that documentation to go back to helps the project manager to sort out new things that come up. And that's easier. Hey, I had this call while you were out. Here it is. Go figure out what the new things are, and the project manager can do it from that recording.
Yeah, and put it all inside put down the new time frames or the milestones or what have you.
Yeah. And pick up
on the checklist.
And pick up any of those things that might have been promised that shouldn't have been, so that they can be readdressed quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, those are all really good points, because if you don't have the communication with the project manager, and you're the person between the client and and this is not if you're just the project manager, if you're somebody like me I am the project manager.
You are.
Exactly. And I might even be working on it, but I'm still overseeing the whole thing. So it's important to know what's going on. And it's tough to get these guys to do that. It's like when they get done, these are some of my experiences, mind you, not all of them. Some of them, they get done working, they just stop. They don't update their records. Well, I worked on it today. Here's what I got done. Or they put in a sentence, worked on this.
That's not a lot of detail.
Cool. And did you let the client know? And was there any kind of a demonstration? And is the work finished? That kind of thing. So.
Well, and that's a good thing to keep in mind, because the project manager is really responsible for the scope, the budget, and the time on any project. So if it has to do with those things, they need to know about it. Right. But the developer has a role in that as well, right? Most project managers, if they're like me, I'm a non-technical project manager, I'm going to rely on the developer to tell me how long the task is going to take them to complete. I might have a good idea, since I've been in the FileMaker industry for so many years, but there might be a technical challenge that I'm unaware of.
Yeah, and sometimes even the developer's not aware of it.
And when one comes up unexpectedly, that's a red flag to alert your project manager too.
You got to know this. This is going to take a lot longer. This is taking a lot longer than I anticipated.
The developer also is responsible for understanding the overall scope. Yeah. So having an idea, and if they're just being asked as a developer to just do a task, it is more likely that they're going to say yes and no problem when a client asks for something. It is a developer's goal usually to say yes and to fix it and to solve the problem, right? But we have to understand how the finance works in with that. So, we're not giving it away for free. We have to figure out how it's going to be paid for, and let the client choose whether or not they want to pay for it, as opposed to, after the fact, here's your extra $2,000 that it cost you.
That's not very good for client relations.
It's not good at all. So again, back to that proactive communication, right? Allowing the project manager to be able to do that is invaluable. And, to your point about when it's done, That is one of my favorite conversations is, hey, is it going to be done on Friday? Sure. And so Friday you say, is it done? And they say, yes. And I say, where is it?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, it's sitting on my desktop. I haven't put it into the solution and I haven't tested it. And I got to see if it works with this. And wait a minute.
It hasn't been in front of the client. The client hasn't approved it. The client
Right.
doesn't know this feature exists.
That's not done.
And but they're done as far as they're concerned. And I'm just, sometimes I have to want to reach through the computer screen and grab them and say, shake them a little bit. I probably shouldn't say things like that, but that's how I feel sometimes. I think people do things and just never let me know.
And that is what's important, right? Because you're responsible for the client communication.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, not for them. I don't think that they should have done that unless they were working directly with the client at that point in time to give something to them. They shouldn't be doing that. And that's different. I think we have that down for a different video is I think we discussed it once before. Or should they even be in direct contact, or when are they allowed to be in direct contact with the client?
I think we talked about before in our subcontractor series is making sure that expectation of how they're communicating with the client is set up front, so there's not a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover on this video, unless I missed something. Can you think of anything?
I think we took care of it.
All right, well, that's it, guys. We're going to be back with another 2 sessions on this project management series. And I think you're going to find a lot to learn. I just learned some more today that I wasn't even doing. I wasn't anticipating, and I'm supposed to be in the know here. So look forward to it. We're going to be doing these again next week and the week after. So set your calendars. We'll be on 11 a.m. Eastern time, each time on a Monday. So we'll see you then. Again, this is Don Clark with FileMakerProGurus.com and FN Database Consulting with Susan.
I'm Susan Fenema from Beyond the Chaos, and I'll talk to you next week, Don.
All right, take care. Till then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.